Hey everybody, how you guys doing? I know there's no music. It's gonna happen here in a few seconds, but how is everyone doing? It's me and did I get everyone's name right? Chase. His name is Ragan. My name's Alex. What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Hello.
You never know. Sometimes I've swapped up the names by accident. Vise, how you doing? Vexop, Yoni, what's going on? Gringo, what's going on? Lazy, how you doing? Making a keycap set, so putting this on the background as a mood, bro. Come on, hell yeah. How's everyone doing, by the way? Mr. Chase, Mr. Ragan, how you guys doing?
It's like you're talking to us.
Everybody,
I'm doing good.
you know?
I'm doing good. It was Sunday. I actually took today to not go in. I had to do the lawn because of our lovely HOA, and been in business call today. So good chill day today.
I definitely have an HOA where I live, but I don't know what any of like the parameters are for what I'm supposed to do. And I've never gotten any complaints, so I guess I'm in line with.
I get the complaint.
I know. I've heard you get some complaints.
Yeah, don't have a weed in my neighborhood because I swear to God, you'll have a
Okay, well, wasn't the time that you got a complaint like a couple of weeks after like Texas was hit by like the worst winter storm Texas has ever had, and they didn't mow, like they hit you with like a complaint the night the like HOA mowed
the
common areas. Yes.
Yeah, so that happened, but that was probably like the fifth HOA complaint. I've paid like four $50 fees because they're like, weeds need addressing, and they send a picture, and I'm like, at least make it singular for the one weed you're referring to in the picture, because it's definitely not weeds, asshole. It's
This
weeds.
tuft of grass is becoming a real eyesore, Reagan. Get
I'm like,
that shit out of here.
Neighborhood's not nice enough to be as persistent as you guys are. Okay.
Oh wait, we're not supposed to be talking about HOAs. That implies that you're living in a house.
Oh yeah, he's in a hotel.
Yeah. Well, not here. Yeah. This is the hotel, but like at the house.
Oh, at the house.
Yeah. Reagan uses hotels to get away from everything, you know?
Yeah.
to get away from the world. If you're eating salad, then weeds do need addressing. Yeah, they do need dressing if you're eating salad for sure. But how's everyone doing? Today we thought we were gonna do something a little different, by the way. By a little different, we were talking a little bit before the stream, and we were just gonna let the conversation flow like every other podcast that we kind of do, with a few of the same kind of questions and stuff that we already know we're gonna ask. But today we thought we'd maybe talk about and just discuss positive things. The reason being is because I feel like every week, and I think Chase and Reagan are in agreement, we tend to kind of do some more, I'm gonna use the word tough topics in the community, or stuff that, you know, definitely has multiple points of views, and we try to learn and grow from that. Edgelords, yeah, we become little edgelordies, I guess. But we thought we'd keep it a little positive today and maybe talk about some of the positive things and do that. And talk about, you know, what it means for you guys to be in this hobby, and what's brought you guys joy, and what's brought us joy, and what we hope is going to keep bringing us joy, and some really, really good things, I guess, right? I want to know what you guys are here for. Like, what have you guys been up to? What is one moment for everyone here, including Mr. Chase and Mr. Reagan, that's really stuck out as a very positive moment? You know? Reagan, do you want to start us off?
No. I don't know. Like, I feel like I started my entry into the community with an interest in keyboards, like a small interest in it, but it's now so dominated by like the friends in the community.
Yeah.
Instead of, I guess, the products. I still love all the products in the community, but it's definitely all the friendships that come out of it.
Yeah. Friendships are a big thing. Like, I think the people I've met along the way, I think I brought this up once before too. The people I met along the way, like, keyboards are background noise to the friends and people that I've met. Like, it's cool talking about those keyboards, but it's also cool being able to boot up a stream and do something in the background where we can talk about food for 2 hours, right? And get everyone really hungry in the course of an hour or two, you know, just because that's the way we are. We just want to talk about food for 2 hours. But there's that. I think for me, another thing that's brought me a lot of joy is being able to sink my time in, and it couldn't have come at a better time, sink a lot of that time in to something to keep my mind from going absolutely crazy during what's happened in the world the last like year and a half. You know, like I think I was thinking about that today, and I was really like, man, I feel like I'm in a good spot mentally, you know, but I'm like, I wonder how much of that would be kind of taken like a dialed a step backwards if it hadn't been for keeping my mind occupied. You know?
Yeah, where would your headspace be if you were just working right now and didn't have like this like large group of people to kind of fall back on and just kind of take your mind off of things?
Yeah, exactly that. Hi everybody, how you doing? Typical Alex driving straight into the wholesomeness in food. Food is really good, man. Chase was talking about he was literally started talking about some great fajita he had before the stream started, and I was like,
I think you're getting rated right now.
Yes,
Diego. Hold on, Lightning just rated us. Diego, how you doing, my guy? If you guys don't know who Lightning is, by the way, Lightning Keyboards is a big personality for sure. Also very knowledgeable and a really good person too. So if you guys don't know who Diego is, check out.
And speaking of wholesome
cables.
Speaking of wholesome, Mr. Diego is awesome, and he helps with questions I have, and he is a wonderful source of knowledge. So shout out to Mr. Lightning Keyboards.
Yes, making steak quesadillas tonight.
Ooh,
that does sound very good. How you doing, Lightning? How you doing? But no, just and I'd like to hear, like, for you guys too in chat, like, what's been one moment that's really stuck out for you that's been like a very positive moment for you guys, or something that's really made you go, wow, like I really love this community, or just really love what this is about. Thank you for the tier 1, Diego. I appreciate you.
I know for me, a lot of, like, besides the people that I've met within the community, the, like, hobby itself has been like a really strong point for me and my brother to, like, further bond with.
Yeah.
I know I told you guys, but, like, for Christmas, my brother went in with, like, my parents and my younger brother, and they all got me a U80 for Christmas. Like, I would never spend that much money on the keyboard for myself, but they, like, all did that, and I had no idea what was happening. I was really surprised. And then for my brother's birthday, I was able to kind of get him back and get my parents and my younger brother, my youngest brother, I should say, all together to get him a keyboard for his birthday too, that he just wasn't expecting. So it's been really cool to, like, share
thank you, dude.
A hobby with him specifically, because it's really cool to have somebody that you're close with who's in a hobby with you, because you guys can share things back and forth. Like, I've let him use keycap sets anytime he wants to or anything like that. I don't know. It's been really cool to have somebody in my family so interested.
That's awesome and wholesome.
Yeah, that's honestly, like, I think even the family aspect, like, that's a good point too, because me and my dad got like, we started sharing that interest for keyboards too. Like, he got really into it when I got really into it, and he recently just built a board for himself, which is a Matrix 1. I think it's what, the 1.2 or something. He got one of those, and then he ordered it himself. I didn't even have he didn't need my help or anything, but the only thing he wanted help was finding a silent tactile switch.
Interesting.
So
did you get
found
him
one of those.
What did you get him?
1.2 OG, yeah. That's right.
What did you get him for switches?
I got him the Gazoo U4s.
That's what I was gonna say. Did you get the freaking U4s? Yeah.
I was trying to find tacit switches because I know I enjoyed those, and he tried those on one of my boards. He's like, "This is really good." I couldn't even desolder those off because I didn't have enough. But yeah, we got him those, and then, dude, it was so fun. Like, and also, like, very wholesome. He went to click it the first time, and all you hear is, like, it's the faintest tactile bump, and then his face just went from, like, oh yeah, this is exactly what I want. Because
I've got
he does
some
not.
right here.
Yeah, he's, like, not big in the noise with keyboards. He just likes super quiet. So it's really cool. Some people in chat are saying, ironically, started boards was spawned from this person smashing one of the basic starter boards. So this was all kind of a way to heal. That's really awesome, though. Honestly, for me, it's the people I've met, but it's an all-around answer. But honestly, you can't beat that. It's true. It's true. Yeah, and going through things too, dads that play is definitely a big thing. Like, ends up being very, very nice, very, very fun. Still waiting to see Father Otis on stream. He's like a little, like, low key nervous, and I don't think he wants to be on there. Yeah, I don't know, everyone's different, right?
I'm jealous of you too, because, like, your family members are into keyboards, and I really wish that my sisters were, for some reason, like, into keyboards.
They're not. You haven't got them into keyboards yet.
But at the same time, you have like your best friend living with you and working with you who's also into keyboards. So I think, you share
He
a very
is, but he's not
similar-
like really into keyboards. And
Okay.
like my sisters, like while they can be as much as they can be into keyboards, they're not like by any means in like a group buy or something.
Yeah.
Like they're not that into keyboards. But I
Well,
don't know.
and I want
Slowly,
to touch
hopefully that'll
upon-
change.
And I want to touch upon something too. Speaking of like you working and stuff too, Ragan. Someone mentioned before that Keycult Rush shipped them a PCB, and I think that's also a very good point too. Like, I think there's been so many experiences, because I think this tends to happen. Maybe you guys can disagree with me in chat. This tends to happen, right? If you go find like read people's experiences online, the majority of people, well, not majority, sorry, you're more likely to leave a review if you had a bad experience, right? Isn't that usually the case? Like, you definitely want to air out the shit, basically, if you have a bad experience. Here's the thing, though. I feel like when it comes to good experiences, even me, I forget to do this. I forget to leave comments and like feedback on it. You know? So I think one big thing too is just like how many good experiences I've had with vendors. It definitely outweighs the shittiness that I've had with other people and vendors too.
Yep.
But I rarely get to talk about those because I forget, or it's just like it's a good experience. Like, this is the way it should be. But it should be also, I feel like, congratulated in a way. And, Ragan, I know, provides that. I've had only good experiences with Ragan. Keycult, for that person who said Keycult. There's been other people too, like Ash Keebs has been awesome to work with as well, and he's been super, super fun. Kinetic Labs, like, oh man, they've been killing it lately with just how fast they ship out. The variety of things they're doing, just like their branding in general has been super
I like
super
Kinetic
cool
a
and
lot
super
too.
cozy.
Like we're working with Kinetic right now, so I'm excited about that.
Oh, what are you working on with?
I'm not gonna say anything because I don't know what he wants to do.
Okay.
But y'all are working together.
We are. It's already done, executed. Yeah, in progress.
There you go. I think the coolest thing so far for me is that I'm building a board each for both my parents. Grim, that's awesome. It's gonna be awesome to give them such an personalized gift. Yeah, that's gonna be cool, and just in time for Christmas. Isn't it wild? Hold on, isn't it wild that we have to plan our Christmas gifts for keyboards like now?
I was about to say, we're like,
Isn't it wild? Isn't that
like
wild?
8 months away. Good lord.
Maybe the GMK set will come in before then. We don't know.
From last year.
Yeah, from last year. And someone said too that my girl surprised me with a Polaris WKL for Christmas. Ooh, that's awesome, Aunt Rosa.
That's
I'm
really
happy
cool.
for you. And thank you again, Box, and thank you again, Lightning, for the tier 3 and tier 1. Thank you guys, I appreciate you. Pandemic being what it is, finding all these chill streamers on all day is arguably better than compared to working regular hours or regular work weeks measured in printer tickets. Yeah, for sure. I think that's a big thing for me too. Like during the day, I am working, and if I can't get into a Discord call with someone, I'll just turn on a stream. Like, it's nice having that stuff in the background, Spawn
Spawn of the devil.
Yeah.
Jinx.
Wait, do I owe you a
Renters
soda
or
now?
hell? Yes. You owe me a weird Canadian Coca-Cola.
But actually, you know what? Speaking of Canadian stuff, I went to go. I don't think I told you this. I have to ship out like 3 packages, and I went to go to.
Did you ship mine?
It's no wait. I went to wait in line to go ship. This happened on Saturday, and I have 2 keyboards as well. They're not rushed to ship to anyone, but waiting in line, sat there for like 25 minutes, and the line's like just not moving. And then at one point, like, they had told everyone basically, I think someone argued on the front there, and this was like towards the end of the day, and they just like completely shut down the postal office. I was like, man, that's stupid. So I'm probably gonna go tomorrow morning, but it's such like a nuisance. I hate the fact that. Yeah, sorry. I hate the fact that I can't just like drop these things off. They have to scan them in and give me like a receipt basically. But
Yeah, that's weird.
it's annoying.
What's here is like we have a post office that's right next to our shop, and like we go every single day because we have a lot of stuff that are like same day ship outs. So they're just prepackaged. You just print the invoice, and usually they have, what we do is we drive around the back of the post office and we just drop off like bins of packages. They have like a priority in like first class area.
Yeah.
But sometimes we have to go inside the front if it's like a bigger package or we need a signature, whatever. And like people don't know that you can just skip the line of, at least in America. I know you've already said that that's not the case because you need a receipt in Canada.
Yeah.
But like you can literally just skip the line and then go set the item on the desk. They don't need to scan it. You can walk off. But like we've had people that work for us like get cussed out at the post office for skipping the line to set their package down, and it's like, sir, you can also just set your package down. Like the people in line like need shipping labels, they need a
That
stamp.
happened to, dude.
They
That
need a
happened to me at the
box.
grocery store. Like similar story. I was telling this morning. I went to the self checkout lane.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I went to go to the self checkout lane, and well, I wanted to, and I just see this gigantic line of people like waiting for the person to check out, like the checkout line. And I'm like, well, this is stupid. No one's using the self checkout lane. I'm just gonna walk to the self checkout lane. Like, why are these people waiting in line for when they can just check out themselves? Whatever. So I go, and dude, as I go, this guy's like, hey, what are you doing? And this guy in line, I'm like, I'm going to the self checkout line. He's like, you have to wait in line with the rest of us. And I'm like looking, I'm like, why aren't you guys using this? Like, why do I have to now wait in line for you idiots to like fucking go over here? And then, yeah, you just started getting mad at me. I'm just like, so come here and use it. There's 3 of them. Like, why are you getting mad at me for? And then he's like, he just kind of like stopped. He's like, oh. And then he just walked towards the thing and started using it. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Grocery store confrontations are always so interesting.
How
Dude, it's like
down
the
bad
worst.
do you have to be to like start problems in a grocery store?
It's just like one of those things you don't expect. Like I was literally had 2 bags of chips and a pop. That's all I had, man. Just wanted to get some junk food and get out of there.
Gotta wait in line.
Fisticuffs, yeah.
Wait, Katana needs VIP.
I was gonna say.
Oh, that's
Katana,
for Discord. So we'll get that done in Discord after.
I was gonna say, Katana, shouldn't you be
Oh.
live so we can host you afterwards?
This is also true. I have an addiction. I just bought an Alpine 65 brand new. Ooh. There's been a lot of cool keyboards, and I think that's another really positive thing too. We've been seeing a lot more things. Specs aside, for example, I liked the Titan. I think the Titan looked very cool. It didn't sound like, it wasn't my preference in sound for sure. Like, it was a bit hollow, but I think the Titan was awesome. I think it definitely hit like a very cool aesthetic that I hadn't seen in keyboards yet. I loved it, in terms of aesthetics. But I think as we continue on with keyboards, we're starting to see more and more people kind of be understanding that there's like different things that different people and different groups of individuals like. So some people will go after aesthetics, some people will go after material, some people will go after sound or feel, and prioritize things differently. And I think that's also a beautiful thing too, to start recognizing that it's okay to like different things, and not everyone has to be a carbon copy of the next person.
Yeah, I personally love new designs on keyboards that haven't been done, and they always seem to be met with like, this looks weird or it's too out there. But it's like, you can only make the same damn rectangle so many times with like a chamfer or a different radius or like a fillet that's slightly different, but it's still a rectangle. So it's like, I personally appreciate when people, I don't know, like, okay, I'll use like the thermal as an example, as like, because I've talked with Wilbo about this, how he was saying that he was nervous releasing it because he thought it was just gonna bomb and like people were gonna think that the design was way too out there. But I really respect that stuff. Like, I would love to see some cool new keyboard designs or like new implementations, new internals,
and
new
that's
types
why,
of
like,
metal.
Well, metal can be like, I think metal's always gonna be like a price point thing, but like that's why even with the jelly, like the jelly Epoch or Epic, or however you want to pronounce it, these were just very different. And honestly, like I admitted this on my YouTube thing too, where I had this weird, and I kind of recognized it afterwards and quickly thought, I'm like, damn it, I shouldn't think this way. I was skeptical. And I think it's good to be skeptical, but I was skeptical in a negative way. I was like, oh, this is so different, it's not going to work. And that was literally my train of thought. The jelly Epic or Epoch, whatever it's called.
Almost like you didn't want to like it, basically.
Yes. I was like, I don't know if I want to like this because it's so like there's so many different pieces, and like I'm not sure if I like the way it looks visually, and yada yada yada. Because I already had set my mind to be like, all right, Alex, you're not going to like this because of X, Y, and Z. I went into the review, like I went into building this thinking, okay, maybe this won't be my cup of tea, and that's okay. Like, I already prepared my mind, like, all right, you're going to have to just talk about it like objectively. And then I was like, well, I can now talk about it objectively and subjectively because like I liked it so much. Like it feels good. It looks, the looks are still growing. I go for the phases with looks. I like the way it looks, and it's not too bad.
But you were just looking for something wrong with it,
Yeah,
and you never really found that.
Yeah. Like there's definitely some things that I had mentioned, but I think it's also good to go into something with an open mind, regardless if it's your preference or not. Obviously you know your preferences, so. But yeah, it was like an interesting kind of like, I caught myself and boy am I wrong type thing. So very, very, very interesting, right? Even with keycap set designs, like I think even a lot of people now, or this is another good example, it's on the same board, is this SA Tatooine set.
Yes.
I think a lot of people kind of wrote this off right at the beginning, and I think after seeing it on some boards, and I think Nathan opened one up, and I got to open one up too. It's not, it's a pretty looking set. It looks nice. I know it's SA, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but even for me, like it looks better in person than it did like on renders, and I think like it's just the way of visualizing things. I don't know. It's definitely one of those things where I get to now open my mind a bit more and go, okay, I should be open to liking different things, right? I'm really enjoying your cam, Alex. Thank you, Sandy. I appreciate it. Thermal design is the reason I purchased. Yeah, the thermal design it's very different. Like it's very sharp. It's very brutal. I liked it a lot. And I think some people won't like it because of that, and that's totally fine. But I think it also plays on a really good typing style and typing feel as well. Not typing style, more typing feel. So, go on.
Did anyone join Thermal Plus?
Yeah, I'm actually curious about that too. And what color? Because I like the Soya.
Okay, so I should have a Thermal round 1 or whatever. I should have a Thermal coming in. And I joined on the last day. I got the Kuro, just because I think I'm in like probably like 5 keyboard group buys right now, but I don't think I had a black Anno board, and so I was like, you know what, I'll get this in later on. But I have the Milk Thermal coming in.
The original Thermal.
Correct. Yeah, I have Milk.
That's a good one too. Yeah. And
Soya was hard to pick, man. I really wanted Soya too for the Thermal Plus.
Soya was really nice. I like the rose gold one too. But you know what's really funny about this conversation as well, talking about opening our minds and not always looking at renders and just kind of like, and this is why I think it's so important to get prototypes out and prototypes into people's hands for more, here's the thing, to take a giant step back, everyone's going to have biases whether you know it or not. We all have something that makes us biased towards something, and we all have a preference, and we all have something we like, we have something we don't like. So whenever you look at a reviewer, know that there's some level of bias there, which is not a bad thing. Because of that, it allows us to now look at 5 or 6 different people who do it and go, okay, well, what's the common traits of what everyone's saying? And it allows you kind of align yourself with someone's biases that maybe aligns with you, right? With the Thermal, I wish the Thermal Plus, because I know I got it, like me and Marcia got it a little bit later, but the Thermal Plus, which I have right over here, let me grab it. It was one of those boards where I think a lot of people dismissed it because the fins were at the top. And I'll be honest, like looking at it now in person and just seeing how light can play with those fins, it's very different.
Dude, here's what I think about that, because I met controversy with the whole top fins as well. Is people were very iffy. I mean, evidently, I didn't really hear too much of it during the first round, but when Thermal initially ran, people were like, I don't know about the fins. But like, again, that's what I really appreciated, is like new designs. And then by the time it's running again, people are like, oh, I'm all about it. But now there's this new design. They're like, well, I don't really know about top fins. Like, I got used to the side fins, but I think people are sleeping on it. I think that when it releases, people are going to realize that they missed out on that.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where it's like we have a bit of doubt in us, and it's okay to have doubt, because you can end up fucking hating something, right? Ozzy says protos of keyboards are essential. Do you think we'll see more protos of keycap sets? Harder, I know, but it could be more common. Well, that's why I was so impressed when we got the SA Tatooine. I did not even expect to like be reached out about this, and then Novel Keys, bless their soul, like they're fucking awesome for providing me a set to take a look at, take some photos.
Oh, that's right.
Guys.
That is a prototype, right? Like that's in group buy currently, so that's not.
That's coming out next year. So this is something we got to look at a year in advance. So that's really cool. And obviously,
Let's
I know
talk about
we talked
that. That's sick.
Yeah,
a prototype and an entire key set prototype.
Yeah. So that was really fucking cool. Disney probably demanded full protos. Well, and probably too. Like it's a licensed set, so they probably wanted to see the product before it was sold, which makes a lot of sense. But
that shows that it's possible. Is the thing.
Yes,
that's the real thing.
Exactly. Ragan, will the Stellar 65 and Macropad be a group buy or in stock limited quantity situation when it comes out this month? Sorry if this is a repeated question. You're okay, sis.
Okay, so it's gonna be in stock to answer your question. I don't know what the hype is going to be like, if they're going to do good, if they're going to remain in stock, whatever. But we have enough acrylic to make like thousands of additional units. So it's going to be, the first run's going to be for 1,000, and we're just going to see how that does. And that's later this month.
That's going to be cool.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready for that too. I mean, like, dude, if you guys, obviously people who are listening to this can't see, but I have a Stellar macro pad with all the Pokemon on it. Turned out super dope. But TKC is also doing full protos of Infinity Key sets. So I think that's the funny part about all this too, is they were supposed to do that. That was like what I was told when I ran Aether. They were supposed to run full prototypes. I think that also happened for what's that other set called? Comfy. It also happened for Comfy.
Yeah.
I got to take photos of that, and if the photos I took are what's going to be produced, then they're pretty like I usually take pretty color accurate photos. So with that, I have confidence essentially if TKC or for Infinity can produce that same pre-unit as the production, should come up pretty close. I don't know what happened with the rest of those units. I don't know what happened with the pre-production for the rest of those units. But I am a big believer that if you're going to do pre-production units, you're going to probably want to set yourself up something nice so you can take the same photos over and over and over and over again, instead of just taking photos with like a cell phone, which, by the way, cell phones, if you guys didn't know, especially Samsung, the colors on these cell phones are just fucking outrageously bad. Like they're not accurate.
What's crazy is I don't have an Android, but my roommate does, and we were taking pictures of something, and when he sent it to me, I mean, it was an item that I see like every day. So I'm like, but keep in mind, I'm looking at colors every single day, so I'm like very conscious of color matching plus minus 5% hues. But when I looked at the picture that he sent me, actually, I looked at it on his phone, and I was like, I swear, like, I don't know if this is public anywhere, but if you take a picture with an Android, I think that it bumps up saturation and vibrance 10%.
Yes.
At least 10%.
Especially Samsung. Samsung will boost up saturation. And then on top of that, some people don't even realize, some people forget, because I think a lot of us use our phones for viewing things, that, again, I'm going to talk about Androids because Apple doesn't really have a color feature that's easily accessible. Some people use like the vibrant setting on Apple phones. And same thing with iPhones. iPhones can process colors differently, right? There's so many variables about using cells. And that's why if you're going to do something, to go back on the topic of what TKC is doing, they need to set up like a booth where they're taking the same photos with the same fucking camera every single time. That way there's no gripes about colors and stuff too. Because that way there, that, okay, well, let's just say for some reason they didn't know how to calibrate their camera correctly or calibrate the colors. At least you know that, like, if that camera takes a blue and it's always a little bit off, then you know that camera is going to take a little bit off of a blue. Yeah.
So Ozzy said he bought a color checker passport recently, and even the Sony cameras are off.
Yes.
Alex, that was the thing that I was talking to you about a couple weeks back. So yeah, I think everyone should have those. Those are awesome.
Yeah, everything's going to be a bit off, and that's why I told you guys this camera here, the top down is accurate, except for whatever reason it doesn't portray rose gold very well, and I can't get that to show up on like any camera.
That might be lighting, like the metallic aspect of it.
It could be, yeah.
You can really only see rose gold if you take a subject and then you move slightly, like, because I know that it's like a metallic look,
like
kind of ano.
Right?
Yeah. So like you get the effect by changing your viewpoint.
Yeah.
That might maybe.
But like
be
this is not this orange. It's because I like this to be a bit softer and more colorful, and I've chosen to do that. That's why you shouldn't always look at, you know, streamers' camera. For example, I'm sure a lot of streamers use LUTs, which are lookup tables for colors.
Yeah.
Don't even take streams. Take streams for what they are. I'm telling you guys, my top down is as color accurate as I can get this video to be, but my photos are kind of where I kind of worry more about the color accuracy. I'm still trying to get Alex to use a LUT. I was using one for a little bit, Sandy, like recently, and then I took it off because it was just like it looked way too different. But this is the Alex 40 from Tokyo Keyboard. But again, I hope TKC now actually takes photos nicely of their products so they can avoid the bullshit that happened the last few times.
Jeez.
Right? All we can really hope is that they get better. Jeez, yeah. But and that's all we can really hope for, right? What do you guys think of Peaches and Cream set coming up? Apparently the set designer released a set just before. Yes, so I've talked about that with with Marcia and stuff too. If you guys don't know in chat, or if you guys are listening, basically Peaches and Cream was run. The colors were too saturated, and now they're rerunning it and calling it Peaches and Cream Light with correct colors to the original renders. With that being said, I personally am not invested in that set at all. Don't really care.
Wait, who's running this one?
Rensuya, I think. Is it Rensuya?
Oh yeah. Well, he did the original. Okay,
Yeah,
so that
yeah.
makes sense.
So I don't really care, to be honest, about the set in general. It's not my cup of tea. However, if he was gonna run around 2 anyways, when now he's deciding to correct the colors, you know, I know a lot of people were mad about it. I think you're completely okay to be kind of upset about not getting the original colors from the get-go. I would have loved, I thought about it afterward, I would have loved some sort of like, hey, for anyone who's bought the original set and still wants to maybe support this project or, you know, pick up a new one, some sort of offering, you know? With that being said, if you guys don't like it, or if you guys feel like you've been ripped off because of it, definitely speak with your wallets, right? That's the best thing I can tell anyone, right? Us sitting here and becoming kind of like toxic about it, or just saying like, no, this isn't right. At the end of the day, like there's not, you know, at the end of the day, there's tons of people in this hobby who don't watch this particular stream or don't have this type of mindset. So just don't buy it. That's all. Like that's the best thing I can tell you with anything you don't like. And I know it might seem scummy to a lot of people. I do believe that people should be given a few chances in life to kind of better redeem themselves.
Yeah.
This might be
People shouldn't buy any key set if you're like expecting it to be exactly what you view on your phone that second when you make the purchase. Like expect like a change in either direction of hue a little bit. Commit to that.
But again, I think that going forward, you know, if this would have happened again and it fucks up again, then it runs around 3, then yeah, like maybe there's some definite need for like some big public outcry. But again, best thing I can tell you guys, speak with your wallets. I personally thought afterwards, after our first talk about it, I would have loved to see some sort of like, hey guys, like for anyone still interested, yada yada, blah blah blah, right? But
some acknowledgement for the
acknowledgement.
People.
I mean, there was acknowledgement already, but I would have liked to see some, I guess, proactive or activity in terms of supporting the original people who bought it. I bought Aether knowing it was designed by Canadian Keyboard Jesus, and I wasn't disappointed. Thanks, man. And the thing with Aether too is I spent a lot of time actually even adjusting, because the renders are always a little off, right? Like the renders I did were a little darker than what the set actually came out. So actually, before I even showed you guys anything, I actually adjusted renders to match what I ended up liking for the prototypes, so there's no confusion.
That's awesome. Good guy, Alex, right there. Because look, when you create a digital render and you create colors on a computer where you can use an infinite, I'm talking billions of colors. I mean, like there are limitations when you convert that to plastic. So good guy, Alex, for adjusting it after getting a prototype.
Pog?
Also, do people typically call you Canadian Keyboard Jesus?
No, that's the first time, so I applaud that. Actually, people want to know what you guys think of the Jelly Epoch.
From what I've seen, I like it a lot. I mean, obviously, I haven't seen it in front of me, and I haven't felt it. But, I mean, from what I've seen and heard and I think I watched your YouTube video on it actually.
It's a nice keyboard for sure.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen it built, typed on, or many renders at all, so I don't know.
It's nice. And actually, I wanted to touch upon something from Unstable. So isn't the purpose of consumer product, though, to be exactly how it's marketed? Funny thing is, it's not just a keyword hobby. If you guys want to hear a funny story, I definitely recommend watching Internet Historian and go to the Fallout 76 one. In the Fallout 76 collector's edition, there was supposed to be some sort of bag that came with Fallout 76. And I guess it was supposed to be some sort of like I don't know, the canvas material. And apparently it shipped and it was just some sort of like, I don't know, it was like a pull string bag or something. And you have to remember, this is like a big collector's edition that you're supposed to get some sort of like, yeah, it was a nylon bag, yeah. So as something basically to redeem for, you know, not getting what they were promised, they offered everyone $5 of in-game currency. You know, and then that was publicly shamed, and then
Like 5 caps?
whatever it was, like an in-game, like $5 worth of, like, you know, the in-game store money. And then when people were like, no, that's fucking dumb, then they said, okay, well, you guys can redeem, how did they word it? You guys can redeem this code online, which, by the way, that's a huge fucking annoyance as well. And I can tell you, there's probably people who just didn't even feel bothered to redeem it, in which will try to produce the canvas totes. So it's just like, there's you know, at least with this, like, people are stating, hey, there could be some color differences. But in that case there, like, when we use a more extreme example, it's like, damn, dude, that's like not even the fucking right product.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think from the majority, obviously, and by the way, Meester, thank you so much for your tier 3. I really appreciate that, man. I think for the majority of people, I'm not going to speak for everyone, because there's definitely people who have a mindset of just push out product or push out whatever, you know, in every hobby, in every industry. I think the majority of people who design things aren't going out of their way to just make colors wrong, because this
No.
is what happens.
It's in everyone's best interest.
Yeah, that's
Like,
the best way.
especially the vendor. Like, seriously, I would say, like, consumers, like, even come second to, like, the vendor's goal is like, I sold X amount of this product and I need to make it look like this product that everyone committed to.
And the designer too, they just want to see what they made realized into.
Of course, I would
a
consider
real
them,
product,
you know, the
Yeah.
same. Like, the designer and vendor's first and foremost goal is to do that. The thing about our industry, like with keycaps, is like the product we're selling, the only way it couldn't look like it is if colors were off. Whereas if we're selling, you know, like, I don't know, a rectangle and it comes out as a square, it's like, it doesn't look like this. But like, our whole thing is colors, so colors can get messed up versus like
Yeah.
some sort of other design parameter. And I don't know, colors can be iffy.
Yeah, and I think it's just it's a good conversation to have, though, because, like, obviously there's lines that you can draw as a consumer, because I don't think any consumer wants to be ripped off.
I mean, this just brings us back to the want and need and hope for prototype keycap sets.
Yep.
I mean, it brings us right back to that. Like, how many like issues would be solved by just prototyping. And I think that it's been discussed in the past. Like, that's something, I believe, I can't remember who it was that said it, but that's something GMK is working on, I believe. And
Yep.
apparently Signature Plast, is that who did the
Yes.
SC tattooing?
Signature Plastics, yeah.
Yeah, so apparently Signature Plastics already has the capabilities to produce prototypes, so that's really exciting. So I don't know, maybe we're inching closer and closer to true prototypes of keycap sets being out before the set's done, right?
Yeah, and I want to take that as like a big positive, because obviously it's not something that might happen today or tomorrow or in the next few months, but this is something that I know everyone, like, even a year ago when I started streaming, like, everyone kept saying, like, we want this. There's slowly becoming, like, in-stock keyboard sales. Like, we didn't have that a year ago, a year and a half ago, and if it did, it was, like, super rare. Like, I'm talking, like, very rare. I didn't even know about any that was existing at the time. So there's slowly things that are coming to light. You know, the more that consumers want, like us, we're consumers, except for Ragan. I mean, Ragan's a consumer too, but he owns a business as well.
I'm a consumer.
You're a boomer.
I buy more things than you probably, okay?
Excuse me? I own What I got here? What can
I mean, you might own more stuff. I mean, I'm a consumer. Okay.
Can't compete with either one of you. I know that for a fact.
Listen, Ragan, I have this hairbrush over here that you don't have. All right. I was combing my hair before.
Have you seen Alex's knife?
Have you seen my hair? Oh, and my knife?
All right. I don't have a mustache, man.
That's true.
I basically don't have a mustache.
But we're all consumers at the end of the day, so I don't think anyone wants to see us get ripped. Like anyone, I don't want to be taken advantage of. I certainly work hard for the money that I have, right? Like I'm sure everyone here works very fucking hard for the money they have too. So Alex combs his hair. I did. That's why. Remember this morning I told you guys it was literally a mess? I combed it. I did that. I feel like no designer vendor has taken advantage of Signature Plastics being able to make dye sub PBT and double shot ABS in the same factory. Interesting. I don't know too much about Signature Plastics in general. Like SA is not something I go out of my way to get, but I do like SA. And then also what else Signature Plastics produces, I haven't been too keen on or too privy on myself. Like I haven't really taken a good deep dive into it, which I probably should. But yeah, one of those things.
I sold you my only SA set.
You did. I have it still. It's
What's
on
on
this
it?
Gooey Boy.
I'm getting. I think the only group buy I'm in for SA is Bliss.
That's true, Hooligan. I'm going way
Wait,
off topic. He can
what-
flex his in-house made. That's true.
What set did you sell to them?
SA Laser.
Was it? Yeah,
It
it
was
was.
laser?
It was. Well, I was thinking that versus the Mito Speed one, but yeah, it was laser because I still have Mito
Wait, you
Speed.
still have Mito Speed then?
Yeah. Okay. Actually, I do have an SA set, so I have SA Mito Speed.
But
Okay.
that you haven't even mounted yet or taken out of the bag?
It's in a bag. It's in the bag because I opted for the bag, and that's why I got it, and you have not got yours. So.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about that whole situation.
Speaking of SA sets, you know what SA set looks really good? I don't know if you guys have seen this in chat, or if you two have seen it. SA Espresso. Oh my god, I'm actually so excited for that set.
Is it brown?
It's like a gradient fade upwards of this like brown to like golden brown type thing. It looks awesome. Like I really, really want it.
It looks like caramely.
Yeah. Wait, do you guys see caramel or caramel?
It depends. It depends on.
So I never say the word, and that's how I just get by. 'cause
Yeah,
just
I try not to say the
don't
word
say
either. That's why I
I
avoid saying it. now.
typically say caramel, but I think there's been like random situations where caramel has felt correct.
I think I say caramel. Yeah.
I'm curious. What do you guys say? How do you say? Oh God, I don't even want to say it, Crummy. I'm not saying it.
Caramel.
I say pecan. Is it pecan? I say. Pecan.
I say pecan. I got into a huge debate with this coworker I had from Louisiana who's like, I even forget the way he pronounced it. I feel like he pronounced it some third way that was just absolutely wrong.
Well, you've already said 3 ways.
Yeah.
You said pecan, you said pecan, and then
It
Ragan
was the
said
third way.
pecan.
Pecan.
Yeah. Okay. It was like.
So there's pecan or like pecan. Now I'm getting lost in this. Oh.
Gold top. Don't bring that up, man. Don't bring that up.
But yes, there's like a weird Southern thing where people say like pecan pie and like weird.
Pecan.
But pecan is, I think, more.
Isn't that more like? Wouldn't that be like more like English?
What, pecan? Or-
Pecan.
I think that's how I would normally say it.
Box says caramel. So I kind of say caramel too. Like I don't say caramel. Wait, but Box, do you mean like cara or cara? But because I would say like
Rama
caramel.
Caramel. Mm-hmm.
Caramel.
Okay. So Reason Lol asked, is triple shot gimmicky or better than double shot ABS? And to that, I would say it's nothing gimmicky. It's just a more, I mean, I would have to presume that it's a more advanced process of injection molding, is using the same mold, injecting 3 colors into the same mold. So I don't think it's gimmicky. I think that GMK needs to hurry up and offer that so that we don't need to do UV printing.
Kind of cool though, the pad printing on top of it.
Thank you, dude.
Kind of interesting.
It is cool.
JC, thank you so much for your prime. I appreciate you. No, the car is though. Someone just said the car from Rama. Man, like the more and more I look at my car, like the color of the green one, whatever the color name was for that. Oh man, like the sun was beaming down in it the other day. It looked like an emerald. It was really nice.
Take it outside.
Like,
You have
I did,
the
man. I took it for a walk. You know.
you have the
Azure.
Azure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want those to ship. I'm ready for mine.
They're nice. Like I went to go and I looked at. I have all 3 green. I don't know why everyone's just like, yeah, Alex, send Alex all the green ones for all those budget boards. So I got green in every single one that's come out so far except for the NK, which is the Portico. I got the green one for the Icky Aurora, and I got the one for the Kara. And I have to admit, the Rama Kara is the nicest color out of all 3 of those.
Can I see SA Tatooine one more time?
Yeah.
Can you pull that up one more time?
I have to admit, though, the jelly's really heavy. Don't forget, this is a bit more saturated on this camera. FYI.
Okay, interesting. I was trying to think of crazy colored keyboards that would look good on.
It looks good.
A gradient keyboard would be cool. The novelties for SA Espresso are so clean. The whole set is just beautiful. And someone mentioned it's like a cross section of a espresso. I agree. Like the crema of it, it's very nice. I actually really want that set. Yeah, this camera, guys, like I said, this face camera here is a bit more saturated. Listen, the reason why, there's 2 reasons why it's saturated. A, because I like the colors in it. Fuji colors are amazing. B, I can't do zooms because there's a duplicated scene right now. B, here, let me just do a manual zoom for you guys. Well, that's the wrong one. Where is it? B. All right, B, I'm pale as a ghost, dude. So I needed to bring some color to my skin or else I'd look like my wall over here. All right? So I need to separate us. So I boosted the colors a little bit, all right? No one judge me.
Okay, so I'm still looking at this SA Espresso Geek Hack page, and this runs like
soon,
in 2 days.
Right? Yeah. This is nice.
Very cool.
Two Ben asks, where is a good place to start for new keyboard enthusiasts? There's tons of good places. You can start in Discords. You can start in
Alex Oto's website.
Yeah, I have a website with all the vendors there. There's not really like a whole lot of. I mean, there's some informational stuff. I know even Mint really released a really cool video for like 101 of keyboards. I know Nathan has one. You can go to streams. It really depends on what you're looking for. When it comes to buying, it really depends on what you want to buy, right? Like if you're looking for a specific product, then yeah, I'd say like follow obviously the breadcrumbs of whatever person you're looking at is doing. But yeah, I'd say that for sure. Like just follow the breadcrumbs there. I would say streamers and the YouTube videos are probably some of the best things. So thank you, Unstable. I appreciate that. Hold on, we owe a compliment to Fred here. One sec, guys. Fred never dead. You know who else is never dead, dude? I can't zoom, but my love for you. My love for you is never dead, my guy. All right, keep on doing you. I love you being here. I'd give you a big hug if I could right now. Thank you for being here, my guy.
You know, that question kind of just made me think. Have you ever used PC Part Picker? The website that kind of like pulls from a bunch of different PC vendors.
Dude, the only reason that's a good point.
A keyboard, a computer. Yeah. Imagine if that existed for like in-stock keyboard items. Imagine
it does. It does.
Yeah.
I forget the name of the website.
Stock.
Wait, Stock just lists all keyboard parts that are in stock, right?
There's another website that has like a PC part picker thing?
But it allows you to like plan out your build basically.
Well, I think Chase is more so speaking on like how the PC part picker, you can pick like compatibility like with a CPU and like a GPU.
Yeah, so if you select a case, it will like show you like what motherboards would be compatible for that case, and then when you select a motherboard, it would show you what processors would be compatible with that motherboard and like what type of RAM sticks you would need, and it would list them on different vendor sites and show you what the cheapest price is.
He wants,
but to make sure your stabs fit your PCB, fits your case, fits your everything.
Yeah.
That could be a really powerful tool.
It's called Stock that shows you where things are in stock currently. I don't know how accurate it is, but it's definitely a pretty cool tool.
Yeah, it's updated pretty often, and it's a really good tool to use to see what things are in stock now, as far as like switches go, desk mats go, even keyboards and accessories and all that stuff. Yeah.
James says, okay, but this is a good question. Is there a website that can help me plan to get the money? Here's the thing. Honestly, everyone here can do this. I really push for everyone here just to quickly set up some sort of Excel spreadsheet of what you spend per month and what you make per month, and find ways to cut down. Someone said OnlyFans. Unstable, my guy. But find out what you can cut down on. Like for me, I found out when I was looking through my monthly expenses that I was paying for example, I don't know how this happened. I was paying for like 2 Netflix accounts.
I hope you're using both of them.
I wasn't. I didn't even know I was paying for two. But so I deleted one of those, and then like you'd be very surprised if you're one of those people who just like puts things on a credit card and forgets about it. You'd be surprised at what you're paying for. You know,
I don't even
cut
want to
down.
check.
Yeah, like I'm. The last time I checked was like 4 or 5 months ago. I'm scared to check again. But I highly encourage you
Water,
to just
electricity.
I just
the
realized when I do
necessities.
my taxes, that's when it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I was paying for that all year.
Find ways to cut down on what you guys don't need. For example, a lot of people in here probably have a pretty, I don't know, maybe Canadians probably have some sort of like top tier cell phone plan. I guarantee you, most of you guys are at home right now. What the hell do we need data for? Why do we need 30 gigs of data? Maybe downgrade that for a few months. Save yourself $100 over the next like 2 or 3 months.
We know why you need data, Alex, because sometimes your cell phone outperforms your internet at home.
Well, that's a different story, but
Shoot.
right. So there's even things like if you go out, if you're finding yourself bringing home, like for example, I will use myself as an example. I was kind of like in a weird spot where I was just bored, and stressed because at the beginning of COVID, so I was stress eating a lot, and I was buying like a lot of junk, like candy, food. And I just got just cut it out completely. I stopped drinking soda pop. That gets expensive. I replaced it just with water. So there's a lot of stuff that you can replace that's very much like, oh, I didn't realize I can save $100 in the course of like 2 or 3 months, and that all adds up. And then guess what? You can now use that money to buy that keyboard you wanted, assuming that you have all your other financial stuff in order, right?
Or if you don't.
Or if
I'm
you
just
don't,
kidding.
yeah.
I'm just kidding. Totally. No, everything.
There you go, Ragan.
Take care of yourself first.
Vex Up wants to compliment Vex Up, my guy. Listen to me. If you were in my option of what to cut out, I wouldn't cut you out, my guy. I'd continue using you as my monthly thing there. Thank you, my guy. I appreciate you. That was a scuffed one. I tried my best, Vex Up, but you got what you got. I couldn't zoom, so it didn't make as much as an impression as I'd like. But I love you, man. Thank you so much for being at the streams. Make your own pizzas? Yeah, I mean that too. Dude, frozen pizzas cost way less than ordering in. Just saying.
I can't make a Domino's pizza, though.
Well, I mean, you can't make a Domino's pizza.
Think of the money you could make while you are not having to make a pizza.
Right, you just throw it in the oven. It takes like 5 minutes.
Oh, you're talking about a frozen pizza or one that you just like straight up make?
You just throw it in the oven.
I mean,
frozen ones.
I
They're
would
still-
do that. Yeah, that doesn't take time.
Yeah. But Reagan's like, shit. But no, there's tons of ways to get back to the question. There's tons of ways that you can go and save money. Like it's a great question, honestly, because it's something that I've personally had to now, could be confronted with. Because I spend money on keyboard stuff for entertainment value for myself and for you guys. And yeah, it adds up. It definitely adds up. Like, and it's crazy how fast things can add up, and where to take cuts starts to be better for you in the future. Start making bagels at home. Ooh, that sounds good.
My problem recently has been like I have always I like supporting in stock buys. As soon as there's something like in stock that I like, I'm like, ooh, I need to buy that. Like I just want to support. And so I keep, and the problem, I mean, it is a problem for me right now.
You do that.
There has been a lot of in stock items coming out recently. Like there's a lot of, which is awesome, which I love. But like, especially if Ragan drops something in stock, it's like, oh, well, gotta buy it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. And like that's, for me, I was even entering like keycap artisans. Like I would try to at least try to get myself one a month because I like collecting them. I just completely stopped. And again, it's like $100 a month that I can save for myself. Again, not saying that you guys have to do any of this. This is what works for me. But I can say that if you guys are, that's what I took. That's the moves that I took. I'm not an accountant or personal finance manager of any sort. So, but yeah, there's just some stuff there, right? There's some stuff that if you just look at what you're spending, it's crazy, right?
Alex giving financial advice on Twitch.
Yeah, I know. But guys, I'm not a personal financial advisor person. All right, I'm just a guy with a mustache on Twitch who drinks a lot of carbonated water.
And likes to push keys.
And I like pushing keyboards down. But yeah, like I said, to go back to our original topic, there's a lot of positive things happening in the community. A lot of positive stuff happening, and I'm excited. It's cool to see how many positive experiences you guys have had as well. With that being said, I also love the fact today was a great example. Like we built the Evolve. I obviously saw there was a lot of glaring flaws with it. Another one that I found out too that I didn't get to mention because I forgot about this feature. It's just my computer. This is supposed to be like a joystick knob, and because of the way that this is, like, there's just, remember I was showing you guys all those tight tolerances everywhere, like the plate doesn't necessarily align. Well, the joystick only works in one direction. It only works up. It doesn't have the room to move left, right, or down. It can go down. It's like I can pre-pressed. But yeah, so the joystick's not working 100%. But I like the fact that we can talk about these things in like my stream at the very least. And I have seen other streamers be very positive about talking about these things, and not take it as like oh, this is our opportunity to make fun of this person. No, it's an opportunity for us to grow, because if we start doing that, then that kills creativity, right? If we start looking at things like new products, ICs, group buys, and we start just taking giant poo-poos on them, constantly, people aren't going to want to do things anymore, right? So it's very important for us to acknowledge that people are doing things and be responsible human beings and adults about that, right? Because the last thing we don't want to do is we don't want to kill creativity. We don't want to kill people's aspirations to be part of our community and to be part of what's going on. Because at the end of the day, guess what? If Ragan, who's a vendor, sees something and he sees an IC and someone goes, well, hey, like, I have this IC and, it's gotten a few views, maybe some people said nice things. It's up to Ragan whether he wants to run it or not. So if he knows he's not going to sell, then Ragan probably just won't run it. It doesn't mean it's a bad set or anything, right? So there's no reason for us to start going up in arms and becoming like these weird vigilantes of the community for no reason. We don't want to kill creativity, right? The Evolve had a lot of new ideas in the initial stage. Yeah, totally. And I think that with those things that we talked about today, maybe there's things I missed, but there was a lot of stuff that we digested with this keyboard. And it's cool to see how we can take that and not be toxic about it. So, Leaf 65 or Salvation? Have you seen the Leaf 65?
Salvation.
I think
No.
I have.
Yeah, I have.
From,
I'm only seeing it on pictures, guys. I don't know what it performs like or anything. I know Nathan did one. Teja Types did a video or a stream about that. So I don't know. The Salvation's what I've tried. Again, they're two different layouts. 165, 160. So I'm not too sure. How can a new vendor gain the trust of the community?
That's a good question.
You want to talk about that, Ragan?
I would say start small and make everyone you work with happy. So if anyone asks them questions, the mutual experience was happy. And just fulfill a ton of stuff and move on.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any other way to do it. I don't think any person...
Start small, yeah.
If you have never done something, like if you're not a vendor and you don't have a business bank account, you don't have an LLC, stuff like that, at least in the US, and then you try to run like an unlimited keyboard group buy, and you're getting like $250,000 in sales, people might question your capability of like fulfilling that. I've definitely seen that on Geekhack. They're like, well, have you fulfilled something before? So just grow.
Yeah. There you go.
Don't screw anyone over and just grow.
A lot of Liam, thank you so much for tier 1. Ben asks a great question. You say don't kill creativity. Thoughts on how we should discourage copying or very similar group buys, i.e. all the gasket 65s that look the same and aren't special? So that's an interesting question. I think directly copying, like one for one, elements. So for example, let's just use, we'll use the fins of the thermal. I'm gonna make something up right now. If someone takes the fins of these thermal and applies it to the bottom, but it's exactly like the same spacing, same everything, same overall design, and there's nothing else going on with it, yeah, like we should discourage like direct copying. If people are inspired by things, and list that and talk to the person and ask questions with that person. We talked about this with Olivia. And that person goes, yeah, like if you're inspired by my work and want to take elements of it, I'm happy to do so. I think that's a good thing too, to talk to someone. In the case of, see now you pose an interesting question. In the case of like gasket mount, putting a piece of pour on foam or just any sort of closed cell foam, closed cell foam isn't necessarily like an idea that is like, you can implement closed cell foam or pour on foam in many different ways. I know we're seeing a lot of the same thing where it's like a thin strip of gasket, but I also think that's an engineering thing that affects directly the keyboard and the typing experience. And I think in a lot of ways it's kind of cool that a lot of people are liking gasket implementation or top mount, because the same thing can be said by like a top mount or like a sandwich mount or a burger mount. I think with those things, it's just like what people prefer in a keyboard. You know, like I think that's more of like maybe I could be completely wrong here, and I'd love for you guys to just tell me otherwise, but I think that's more of like an internal like engineering. If it's
I feel like
something
at some
very
point
unique,
that was copying, right? Like
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
one that existed, then there was two, then there was 50. But
Yeah.
now it's such a common thing that it's like a tray mount or an O-ring mount or a
Yeah.
top mount or whatever. Any other, it's like fairly common. It's just a buzzword now. It's like a new style. I don't think it's to the point where it's like a
Yeah.
copied thing as late as we are into it.
Yeah.
How many times
Now,
we've seen
with that being said, like I know we're now seeing the Salvation with its kind of new mounting style too. I don't care if people
Wilbur
copy
mount.
it, build upon functionality. Yeah. I think it's like built, like Wilbur just said, like building on, like taking that inspiration and then, you know, using that and going forward with it.
Wait, I thought he went to bed.
Wilbur?
Yeah.
What time is it in Wilbur's time there?
I don't know. I thought he said he was going to bed.
I don't know.
Maybe he's in bed watching.
11
I don't know.
a.m. Oh, that's not bad.
What? What do you mean he's going to bed?
I don't know. I thought that's what he said earlier.
It's morning time.
I don't know his
Doesn't know what to
schedule.
say.
I mean,
I saw Gian using O-rings and gasket mounts and unique. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I think it's more of like an engineering thing, and I think it's more just like if you've taken like some signature visual aesthetic, which literally poses no. Obviously, there's limits to copying, and I definitely want people to. I want people to communicate with people, right? I think that's like the best thing you can do, right? I think we can all agree. Yup, in chat, I guess.
Yeah.
Communication is the key to everything. You know, just give us a yep, just a good old yep.
Yeah.
But I
And
think
there's something like on the line of like, am I taking something that is somebody else's? Like, am I on that line? I think, you know, it's kind of proper etiquette to just kind of reach out and ask the person in question, you know, try to get in contact. And you know, that's
Get
like what
permission.
happened last week with, like you said, with Olivia. Like the artist reached out to her and said, hey, can I create this?
Yep.
that one was like a little.
Well, Wilbur makes a good point too. Like if you ask a designer if your design is too close for copying, you've kind of already answered your question.
Yeah.
But I think
because you
at
put
this,
them in a crappy position to
Yeah.
answer that.
yeah.
You
But
really do.
I also want to say that like if someone's concerned, like I can see that going both ways. Like I have a huge thing about being guilty. Like I cannot, like I find myself getting tons of anxiety and stress if I even feel like a tiny bit of guilt towards something. So I know with me, even if I feel like it's, oh well, I got inspired by this and I've changed this around, I'll probably still, I know me, I'll probably go ask myself anyways. And I know I've gotten answers in the past where it's like, this is like, I'll talk about a work situation where I've been like, hey, like I took this and I did this, do you mind if I do it? And they're like, dude, this looks nothing like what I did. And I'm like, I know, but I still need to ask you because that's just the way my brain works.
You're like, it started as like a
It's-
blip of similarity to yours, but
Yeah.
it's been changed.
Yeah, so I know I can understand that aspect as well. But, you know, at the end of the day, whether it answers your question or not, I still think communication is like the best thing that you can do for someone. And I totally know what you mean too, Ragan, where it puts that person in a shitty spot. But I think that we should encourage like a system of communication where that if someone says, hey, I'd rather not, then it's just peacefully like, okay, I understand.
I think that should be for the person asking, should it like accept that more. But
Yeah.
like it no matter what, it puts the original artist in a position to where you either have to like objectively look at something and say, yeah, I think it does look too close to my design and therefore I'm an asshole. Or you could say like, no, go ahead. And now they're running with your blessing, even though you may or may not like
Totally.
that.
I agree
you
with
know?
that,
So it's,
yeah.
it's awkward nonetheless.
It's still awkward, yeah.
I feel like
But
if you
I think-
have to ask, then
Yeah.
like Wilma said, you already should
Yeah,
know.
that's a good point. Takes a lot of prototyping to get experimental mounts right, which is expensive. Yeah, that too. Experimenting with things is definitely expensive. Yeah, you're guilty of being a dashing young man. Thank you, dude. I appreciate you. Please check out my new board, the Thermi. It's got grills in the bottom, what I can only call a Wilbur mounting system. Wilbur mounting. Yeah, can you imagine if Wilbur put grills on the bottom of the keyboard? You know how weird that would be for your wrists? Can you imagine?
Make them really sharp.
Yeah, make them really sharp. Oh god, that would be painful. Let me see this for a second. Let me change this around here. Just want to see what that feels like. Actually, it's not too bad. Ooh, it makes that nice noise that I like. I don't know. Grills on the bottom would definitely be kind of uncomfortable, I think, to type on. Bolivia? Oh god. This is how we get better boards. Yeah, and I think Wilbur makes a good point too. Here's my ideology with people, even when people copy things that I've done. This is for me. I don't mind if people take what I do and are inspired with it. I think there's a line of like taking something, using it for yourself. When it comes to more creative stuff. I also think there's a line of like taking something just to profit off of it, and then throwing that person who you've taken the stuff from kind of in the dirt and behind. But I also am very much inspired when people take things that I've done and then improve upon it, because it makes me want to do better things as well. But I think there's a lot of fine lines, and it's an interesting conversation. I thank you guys for having this with us. But it's an interesting conversation because I don't know where all the lines are, right? So, Wilbur says, I'll be publishing the specs of Salvation mounts so others can explore this idea themselves. Fucking Pog. Wilbur Pog. Can we get some
Wilbur.
Can we get some Wilbur Pogs in chat, please? Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys. Design elements are a no-no, though.
He's going to publish his Wilbur mount.
Wilbur Pog? I need to make an emote. Oh, wait. Can I talk about one thing? Guys, I was thinking about doing a little contest. I haven't really thought of the prize yet. It'd be something cool, though. There's one emote slot that we have left that I don't know what the fuck I want to use.
Another cable.
No, not another cable.
Another cable.
Listen, there's one emote slot, and I was thinking we threw a little contest in Discord of who can design the best emote, and the winner. I'll make like a panel of judges. The winner will get something, but Boomer shakes. I shake a lot, dude. Come on, I shake so much. I don't know why I do that for. But yeah, maybe we'll do that. I'll be making a Chozo emote. Oh my god, like a Chozo scolding me emote. That'll be perfect. Yeah, that would be great. But no, interesting conversation nonetheless. I think it's very good to have these. It's very positive to have these as well. Hey there, fellow Canadian. Hello. How you doing? Did you enjoy the rain today? Chozo disappointment. Punker's face is so sexy I'd have to win automatically. Punker, what's going on, my guy? I'm in talks with Yuri about making some. Oh god, Chozo's going like full out collab mode for his emote entry.
Ooh.
I would expect nothing less of
Woody emotes.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing though, chat. We can't take. I mean, I want everyone to use the word Woody, but I also want to remember that Wilbur coined the word Woody. So when
there's a royalty involved with
there's
the
a
word
royalty. There's not actually, guys, don't worry. But there's a royalty involved with saying like something has woody tones or woody subnotes, right? And the royalties, just think of Wilbur when you do it. That's all. I released it to the public domain. There you go. Wilbur, how much for Woody?
Woody TM.
Maple notes? Yeah, I'll use the word maple notes. We all have to use different trees. That's all. Stay Woody, my friends. Out of context, this is going to be very weird.
That's most things in this hobby.
Yeah, well, most things that we talk about. But no, I think good conversation. I still don't understand NFTs. Nor do I really want to, chat, by the way. I don't really want to understand
digital
NFTs.
Property.
Whatever. I literally don't understand it. Don't care. But there's some really good conversation that happened today, I think. Low acidity and full body. Oh my god.
Yes.
But guys, like, when it comes to other positive things too, I think one of the biggest positive things, we'll talk about maybe from a content creator standpoint, is just how many people are getting now into like the keyboard scene and want to do content around it and showcase like what they're doing and what they're building. I think that's a really cool thing too. I think it's a really awesome thing, and a lot of the people that are starting are like very wholesome as well. So it's very cool. It's very awesome to see new people kind of get into that scene as well, where they're exploring their creativity and doing more than just buying tons of gear and waste. Like, I'm gonna use the word honestly, like, it's kind of not wasteful per se, but it's almost dangerous to sometimes to spend that much money because dude, keyboard stuff is really expensive. So be responsible, but it's really beautiful to see people exploring that. Love seeing things grow in the space. Even as a newcomer, there's so much change every week. Yeah, totally. I see the keyboard hobby being very fun and very creative, as long as we keep with this mindset and being welcoming and not gatekeepy or anything like that, and allowing people to explore creativity, and not here's the thing. I think if we stop people from allowing people to explore creativity and just want our XYZ products, then I think we're all going to get very bored very quickly. Full body and bright feels the same vibe as thocky and clack. I'll be honest, I low-key hate the word thocky and clack. I like saying bassy and resonant or like treble. Like, I like those words. Those
are audiophile words.
I know. That's where I came from, though.
No one knows what those mean.
I hate those words, though. Thocky and clack.
I mean, I don't like those words either, but...
I think bassy makes more sense because you talk about bass. Like, bass is an actual, term that we usually
describe. Would someone, please make a YouTube video where it shows, the 7 different possible sounds that a keyboard can make?
No, and then, because everyone's ears are different.
Transcribe them to a word. That's like saying everyone's eyes are different when you're describing a color. It's like, at least
Jack says he has us. Jack says he has us. 1 sec.
I'm just saying that, look, you could make, the 7 sounds a keyboard makes, equate it to a word, make it the damn standard so we can get rid of woody, thocky, clocky, clacky, clicky, okay? All the damn words with the CK endings, and have just an official standard.
There's never going to be official.
Wood keyboard, so I can actually have a woody sounding keyboard.
Do what?
Can you make me a stacked wood, sheets of wood keyboard?
Can the laser cut wood?
Yes.
Oh.
I had a stupid question, but would it burn or?
The edges would be burnt, probably.
I mean, do you have your lube jar, Alex?
It's downstairs.
Well, you could see what happens to wood.
Oh, I honestly didn't even know that was real wood, to be honest. I didn't visually inspect it. I thought it was just a plastic.
It is. It's wood. It smells like burnt wood when you're lasering it. Yeah.
Is that a good smell? I don't know.
It is. It's I like it.
Oh. I don't know, man. There's just so many sounds associated with things. Even when people say pop, for me, when I think of spacebar pop, or people be like, "Oh, that's a good pop sound," because I've heard that a few times. I've actually been kind of confused. I'm like, what does pop sound like?
Pop, to me, the definition of that is black inks, ink blacks, whatever, on polycarb.
That has nothing to do with what I'm thinking. That's the crazy thing about these words. When I think of a pop
that's why there
sound,
needs to be a standard.
Or we just don't use those words.
Well, the words are inevitable.
That's why I'm saying bassy or high pitched. No, in sync is pop. That's what I think too. I think a pop for me is I'm gonna just do it, that kind of sound, right? That's what I think of pop. Did you guys think the same thing?
I love the variations of pop we're getting in chat now.
I don't know. This is why these words sometimes confuse the shit out of me.
Please, someone make a standard. I'll go like it on YouTube right now and then promote it.
Oh my goodness.
Do another pop. A clack. A clack is a brown switch on a brass plate, and if you make that a clack, I'll call it a clack forever.
All right, so it looks like
your flag in it. Okay.
We found a topic to spend an entire podcast on sometime of just discussing the random ass words that mean nothing within this community.
Buck said, "Yeah, right, pop. What you just made." Yeah, I think that for me, that's the pop when I think of pop. That whole oh, Jax has Oh yeah. I think there's getting to know frequency ranges. Yeah. So this is what I mean. There's actual words you can. I don't know. I think maybe this is also. Is this also I guess made up stuff that we kind of assign to something? There needs to be a standard, just like that video. Use these: harsh, sibilant. What else do we got there? Strident? No, it was strident, not sibilant. Warm, full. Yeah, clarity. It's about EQ. Yeah. Audio people know. Oh, I mean, so Just Gerald, I think you also make a good point too. Pop for me, when I also think of pop, I think of the crack of a can. When you crack a can open of soda? Because we call it pop here in Toronto as well.
Don't you call it soda pop though? Don't you say
I only call it that because I've been talking to people from like California and America like since I was like teenager online.
But no one
So,
calls
like-
it soda pop in California, right?
No, he's just covering
They
the
say
bases
soda.
of soda and pop.
So I just call it sody pop because I just kind of people. I would say pop growing up, and people literally be like, "What the fuck?" I'd explain it to them a million times, but they'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
In the South, it's soda.
I think we've definitely had this conversation before of the different way. Like some people call it a Coke, some people call any soda a Coke. There's people who do that.
Well, it's like people who call tissues Kleenexes. They're all Kleenexes,
yeah,
which is a brand, right?
No,
Yeah.
Kleenex is a brand.
or a
Well,
sticky note.
I'm saying
note.
plural of Kleenex, like
Or a
Kleenexes,
a sticky note is always a post-it note. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a
Post-it note.
jacuzzi is always a hot tub.
I'm guilty of
Jacuzzi's
that
a
one there. I
brand.
still say jacuzzi.
Jacuzzi is a brand, not
Band-Aid.
all hot tubs.
Jax is correct.
Bandage,
What the fuck do we call band-aids then?
bandages.
Adhesive medical bandage.
I don't know. So Velcro is interesting because that's actually called hook and loop. I don't know if you guys knew that. That system is called hook and loop system.
That's not fun to say.
No,
Well, what if it's not the hook and loop system and it's just two pieces of...
they're all hook and loop. It's done with a hook and a loop that gets hooked and looped together.
Got it.
Just
Okay.
Velcro's the major brand that does it.
Wow.
Yeah, we say Photoshop because everyone's photoshopped that. Yeah, it's all hook and loop stuff. The Velcro song about hook and loop is great. Yeah. Popversoda.com. I'm scared to click it. Welcome to the linguistics stream, everyone, where we discover that language is arbitrary. Can we get a yup in chat? Can we get a yup in chat?
That pop versus soda is. Oh, look at that. Yeah, look at the percentage of people who also just call everything a Coke. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder how they got these numbers.
Dude, this is not true. I've never met any... I've not met one individual, and I've lived in Texas my entire life, that calls it Coke.
I know a lot of people from Mexico who just call any soda a Coke.
I know people in other states that exclusively call it Coke, but I've never met someone in Texas that calls it Coke.
Wait, what do you call a shopping cart? Oh,
A shopping cart.
I just call it a shopping cart. Yeah.
Sometimes a buggy.
Yeah, buggy maybe, or I call it sometimes like a metal carriage of death. 'cause
My
I've hurt
grandma
myself
calls
bunch
it a
of times.
buggy.
Is there another word?
They
Buggies?
call them
Oh.
trolleys in like United Kingdom, and I don't know if that extends to Europe.
Yeah.
Well, you know what else I found out that people call like a bunch of different things is actually this is a good question for you two. You guys know like when you like if you take a piece of bread, you cut the center out, it's like a circle, and you put an egg in there and you fry it. What do you
Yes.
call that?
I
I call it a hole in one.
I call it an egg in the middle.
What about you, Ragan?
Wait, what did you just say? I've never heard of
It's
that.
a piece of bread. You cut a hole in it, and you put an egg in the middle.
Oh, and
you fry it.
the piece of bread that you cut out of the middle. So you take like a glass cup and you put it on a piece of bread, and you take the cup and you press it down, so you have a circle of bread. Then you crack an egg. You put that down in a skillet or on a flat top, and you crack an egg in it. And then you fry the egg in the like crust of the bread, and then you take that circle and you also cook it, and then you open up the egg and dip that circle in the fried egg.
Yeah, like what do you call that? We call that a hole in
I've
one.
never
Do you-
had that in my entire life.
Reagan's
Okay,
never
well,
had
you're not
that.
living.
Apparently, I'm going down to Austin. I'm gonna make that for Reagan.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's really easy to make. You literally just need egg, bread, and butter.
Wilbur said it the best. I call that lazy. Just make French toast.
It's not like French toast. It's very savory. It's really
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I call that egg in the middle, but I think I forget what my wife calls it. She calls it something different than what you said too.
Hole in one. But this is the point, though. There's so many words. We're all talking about the same fucking thing, and there's so many words that we use for it. And it's not like the majority. Like you live in the same household with someone who calls
Yeah.
it something different,
Yeah.
right? So there's so many different words to describe things. So like we said, it's kind of arbitrary. So that's why like the whole thock and clack thing, just like egg in a basket, egg in a hole, like thock, clack, like
Okay.
Woody.
Wait, I have a question before we get off the subject real quick.
Okay.
Off this subject for a little bit, it sounds like.
Oh, okay. Obi-Wan says, I lived in Texas, Mexico border, and we call all soda Coke. Like, I understand pop.
Yeah.
I understand soda. They're generalized for everything. How do you call everything Coke?
we do that here in
like-
Toronto too.
Okay, but how do you go to a restaurant? How do you order a Sprite?
Well, it's just like when they're referring. Well, they would order Sprite, but if they're referring to they want a soda, they wouldn't say a soda. They'd say they want a Coke. If they wanted
So you
Sprite,
tell the waitress, I want a Coke.
Well,
Like,
if Alex, if Alex is going to the restaurant and he wants a Sprite, he's not going to say, I want pop. He's going to say, I want Sprite. You don't you call it by the name of it. Yes.
Well, absolutely you should, but like then why?
Well, what Gambit said, most of the times when you go to like a restaurant and you say like I want a Coke, and you could literally not care if it's a fucking Pepsi or a Coca-Cola. You just say you want a Coke, they're gonna go as Pepsi, okay?
Yes.
Yeah, but that's because Coke and Pepsi are like the
Same general thing.
That just depends who the vendors for the restaurant. You either have Pepsi products or Coke products. Yeah.
Yes, but yes, most people that I've known like from Mexico, they just say Coke when referring to just soda. They don't use the word soda really. Just anything that is like.
I don't know how that came about.
Is
like
a Coke.
that's so weird to me.
Okay,
Probably
correct me if I'm wrong though.
like
It's not like
it's
not like they're saying Coca-Cola or Coke for like 7-Up, right? Right, Chase? When
Correct.
they say Coke,
It's
they're
for
just
all
meaning like
sodas.
either a Pepsi or a Coke, like a cola and like the caramel.
No, they call soda Coke.
Yeah, like the category of drink soda. They don't say soda.
So they
just,
would call like this. Well, this is in French, but they would call sparkling water a Coke.
Yeah,
Well-
yeah. If they said they wanted a Coke, maybe they don't mean specifically Coca-Cola. Maybe they mean.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like it's usually the caramel, like the caramel, whatever you want to call it, that whole like that lineup of drink, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's usually when you're saying a Coke, you either mean like a Pepsi
Yeah,
or
there's
a
another one,
Coca-Cola
soft
or
drink.
yeah,
Soft
like
drink is another
that type of soft drink,
Yeah.
right? Like you don't usually say a Coke and expect a fucking root beer. So there's usually an expectation of like category of when you say Coke.
How the heck is soda generalized as?
You know what, man?
Coke.
I don't know. All right, it's a dumb
I love
conversation.
I love how this is blowing your mind. I love how this is like almost a heated conversation too. It's making you that like.
I just don't like. I understand. Like, okay, I say soda, and I get that's not widely used as other things, or like I get why people say pop, like that's generalized too. But Coke
Yeah.
is a specific brand within soda that refers to Coca-Cola.
Yes, you got that. Yeah,
That is correct.
you're correct.
Why is that generalized for all
It's
soda?
the same thing with Kleenex.
Well, I mean, Coca-Cola.
No, there's no flavors of Kleenex.
Yeah,
But
but
there's 2-ply, 3-ply. Like you can't.
Oh my god, I
Oh
can't tell you if I've ever
God.
refined my search for Kleenex by 2-ply or 3-ply, but I don't want a damn Coke. I want a Sprite or Dr. Pepper, and
You would call. I don't think anyone who says "Give me a Coke" expects a Dr. Pepper.
I'm sorry for all the people in chat who say Coke when they're referring to a soda.
I mean,
Reagan,
I would love for someone to like change my mind on that. Like, I would love for someone who says Coke to be like, "Here's why you're wrong," and I
Can we
will.
get Coke
like,
and Keebcast, please.
There's
Can we
no
get Coca-Cola and Keebcast just to explain this shit to me?
About to go grab a Coca-Cola. I happen to have some actually. This has been a really good sales pitch for Coca-Cola products.
Anyways, sorry guys, we went on a tangent. Hopefully you still guys enjoyed the stream. We are reaching our 1.5 hour mark. I don't think we're going to ask our normal question because we were talking about positive things, and I'd rather not bring any negative things up.
Yeah, we got on the edge of negative almost by
With
talking
Coke.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a heated conversation.
Last question I want to ask you guys is: when you guys drink from a can or a glass, all right, not keyboard related, do you guys do pinkies up? That's all I want to know. Pinkies up or pinkies down?
Sometimes I catch myself doing it. I don't think I really consciously think about it.
You SpongeBob? What?
Does pinkies up
Why?
or pinkies down?
SpongeBob.
I do pinkies up, baby. That's what
If I have like a tiny thimble-sized espresso cup, I think I like am forced to. But like with a soda or like a pop or a Coke
Pinkies
or whatever
up?
you want to call it, you have your pinky up.
I do
All right,
pinkies up.
We're gonna have to end this soon before Reagan starts attacking us.
Reagan's going to bed today with more questions than answers.
I do that every day.
He's
I
not
already
gonna
do that.
He's gonna stare at the ceiling all night like, why the hell do they call it Coke? It's not Coke. It's not Coke.
Oh man.
Coke gatekeeping.
Yeah, Reagan's not gonna have a good night's sleep tonight. That's all I can tell you guys.
Pinky up is the code. Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
guys, we talked about some great keyboard things today, as well as for some reason got on that tangent. But thank you guys for coming to stream today. I appreciate you guys. We're gonna be streaming again. Well, I'm gonna be streaming again Tuesday, and then next week we're actually gonna be having Yura on the stream, and then some other cool people that we'll announce later on. What Jack said, please hug someone that you love today. I think that's a good way to end off the stream. Very positive note. Let someone know you love. You can't physically hug them, obviously, because what's going on in the world. Just call them up right now. Why wait? Call them up. Tell them you love them. Send them a message. Not me, because I know sometimes you guys do that. Not me. Exactly. Their punker just said it. Someone else besides the people here in stream. I love all of you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. Let's figure out someone we want to raid.
Frank.
Is he on?
Katana.
He is on. He went live.
He went live because we yelled at him, huh?
I told him at the beginning.
He said you can't have VIP. Now get in and go stream so we can raid you.
Do your job, sir.
Everyone go enjoy Katana's stream. If you guys want, join the Discord. We talk about more stuff. Maybe not.
Wait, hit him with
Coca-Cola
these.
stuff.
Hit him with some of these.
Hit him with some space cables if you guys have the emote. All right, everyone have a good one. Enjoy Katana's stream. Take care, everyone. Love you guys. Bye. Next stream is Tuesday. After that, it'll be Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. So take care, everybody.
And another Keebcast.
Yeah, another Keebcast as well. The schedule's on my news section in the Discord. Bye, guys. Love you.
Bye.